Hey everyone, 13 weather meteorologist Sean Ash here with a Friday midday update on our weather impact alert day that we've been giving you for the last couple of days to kind of get you ready for the bulk of the strongest wind, which is still a couple of hours away, but we're already dealing with issues here. So we've told you it is going to be windy, it is going to be wet from start to finish today. We've narrowed down the time on the strongest wind gust, and it's 4 to 8 p.m. But we're already seeing power outages already. We just think that's going to be the strongest gust, and when we say strongest, probably in the 50 to 60 plus mile per hour range. So we'll have numerous power outages and potentially some wind damage. Now, because we're in this steady rain, trees that might normally stand up to a 45 to 50 mile per hour gust, that threshold may be a little bit lower here. We've been talking about charging your devices, fuel up those generators, and we've been talking about impacts to Operation Football. And we know that discussions are underway right now. Some of these games may be postponed. Even without the wind, the heavy rain on these grass fields may make them unplayable. Okay, so let's dive into where Helene is now, downgraded. I don't like to use that term. It is a tropical storm, but remember what we've talked about all week. The energy with Helene is going to merge with the upper low that's over southwestern Kentucky. And that merging process is going to bring a swath of high wind right over Indiana this afternoon and this evening here. Now, speaking of power outages, I want to show you the path of Helene from last night as it made landfall about 10 miles southwest of Perry, Florida, a little after 11 p.m. And you can watch the power outages near and east of the track just ramp up here. And the latest numbers over the southeastern U.S., we are talking hundreds of thousands, close to almost 1 million people without power. And I mean, we're talking into the Carolinas here. Again, hundreds of thousands. Cincinnati at this hour, 10,000, almost 1,000 here in Marion County, and we're about 300 miles away or so from the center of Helene. So let's take it from now, and I want to show you how this is going to play out. Here's the center of Helene merging with that upper low. Here comes that surge of higher gust that's going to be on the north and northeastern corner of that track. And the low is going to be hovering right around the Ohio River. So this is at 4 p.m. We're going to start to see those stronger gusts emerging over the southeastern corner of the state. Usually our weather comes west to east. In this particular case, this thing's going to be going east to west as it wraps around the low. And so again, we're going to see this burst of 50 to possibly over 60 mile per hour gust moving east to west through the state. And then we'll see a rapid drop off. By 8 or 9 o'clock from east to west, we will see those gusts go down. Unfortunately, during that window, we are likely going to see a big surge in power outages and then the potential for some pockets of wind damage to come with that. No surprise, our forecast didn't change, but no surprise to see a high wind warning for a good chunk of our viewing area. And even if you're not in the high wind warning, you're going to have wind impacts. It's just this will likely be the more of the bullseye and probably have more 60 mile per hour reports in here. And as we've said for the last several days, so there you go, there's 4 p.m. and there's to 8 p.m. And we're going to have multiple hours of over 50 mile per hour gust. That will do the trick here. Matt Standridge made this graphic. This just tells the story too. It's the duration, even of 30 plus mile per hour gust, almost 24 hours. And then you can see we're still got that concentration here. So let's talk about what all this means. You know, when we get into 40 and 50 with a steady rain, again, that can do a number. We're going to get some, tree limbs knocked over, but because we're going to loosen up the roots of some of these trees here, the threshold to knock them over is going to be a bit lower here. You get up to about 60 plus, and then you're talking about knocking over semi trucks, possibly some structural damage, and then you ramp up the numbers on the power outages. And that's what we're staring down here through the afternoon, through the evening, okay? That's the wind side of Helene and its remnants. Now let's go into the rain side, because we've had to up our numbers up a little bit here. Games that do play tonight, Godspeed to the punters and the kickers. I'm telling you that right now. Hopefully you have a good running attack. Northeast, sustained at about 30 miles per hour with rain, by the way. All right, so it won't be shocking to see them postpone. So this will be storm total. So we're talking 3 days roughly. I think the metro area is probably going to be a good 2 inches. A lot of what you see on the map will occur before midnight, by the way. So a good chunk of these numbers happen before midnight tonight. Pretty solid 2 to 4, Bloomington, Johnson, Morgan counties. If we get over 2 inches in Indianapolis, that would not be a shocker at all. This is great news. This will bust up a drought in a hurry. Unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with the wind to get there. Now, I said a good chunk of this happens before midnight. With all that said, not all of it. And that means we're going to have weekend impacts too. I want to spend a little time on that. Here's Future Track 13. We're starting at noon. Here comes, we talked about the wind. So it's going to be occurring in these bands. And I mean, those rain rates are going to ramp up here. And we're going to have wind and rain blasting through. Now, I've had a lot of people ask about tornadoes. We cannot completely rule out that some of these cells may have some rotation. That will be more of an isolated thing versus a large part of our area gets high gust, okay? But yes, that is a possibility and always has been. And even the weekend, there's still a possibility of seeing some rotation. So this is by midnight, the rain scatters a little bit. And then I want to get into the start of the weekend here. So this is at 8 a.m. tomorrow. From Indy and especially southward, we're going to wake up to a mist and a steady light rain. It may not be heavy tomorrow, but it is going to be probably a steady rain for us. If you have plans to be downtown for the Circle City Classic Parade, unfortunately they had to move. They had to cancel the pep rally today for good reason. It was an outdoor event, and with the rain and the wind, they were going to cancel that. Tomorrow, the wind won't be as strong, but 15 to 30. And we still, again, are going to have showers. A lot of folks have asked about college football. So here's IU. They got the noon kickoff against Maryland tomorrow. And there's a pretty good chance that game is going to be played in rain. It may not be very heavy, but it looks like it's going to be steady here with temperatures in the 60s probably for most of the game. Now, Purdue's going to be an interesting, and really the northern third of our state tomorrow is going to be interesting because we may actually get a few breaks in the cloud deck up here. That could destabilize things a little bit and cause some cells to develop. There's still going to be a lot of spin in our atmosphere, so tomorrow we could get some funnel clouds, possibly a tornado or two in some of these cells here, mainly over the northern third of the state. And we'll be watching radar very closely for that. All right, so now we're into the evening hours here. We still have a lot of showers coming in, still in that east to west fashion. So let's give you the planners. So here's, again, rain likely, noon kickoff, IU in Maryland. As we go up to Purdue, have Nebraska in town, it might be a little bit more scattered up there. Start might be okay, but as the game unfolds, we'll see a scattering of rain. And then the Notre Dame-Louisville game has the lowest chance of rain, warmer because a little bit more sunshine, and the wind may not be as strong up there. Now we're going to Sunday. This thing is still spinning around over us. If you have tailgate plans for the Colts game, we're expecting showers and we're expecting cloud cover. And then we'll be on radar watch again for some of these cells trying to rotate with the heating of the day on Sunday. And then as we go into Monday, this thing is still circulating across the Ohio Valley here, and it's going to take a little while to break down. This is still all the remnants of those two lows that are still just spinning around parts of Indiana, okay? So a weather impact alert day, remember the worst of the wind is yet to come, but we are already getting reports of power outages, and we expect those numbers to ramp up. Please make sure that you check us out. You've got our weather app and our news app, and we'll be updating on our live stream throughout the day to keep you prepared for the wind surge that's on the way.